Welcome back to the NR2003 Twitter Manager Championship for round 2 at North Carolina. I'm Andy Graham, and today we bring you the last chance qualifier for this race where 20 cars will fight for 4 spots over 59 laps at this 1.017 mile circuit. And let's have a look at the starting grid for the race. We got Matt Kenseth on pole position for the Vine Family Racing. He will be starting alongside Paul Menard today. On the second row, we've got John Hunter Nemechek, and we've got Ryan Preece for MBM. Connor Daly, 5th on the grid for Spire Motorsport. 6th place will be Darrell Wallace Jr. What can Bubba do today? 7th is Justin Haley, really struggling to get this premium car working this year. And 8th place is Nathan Merritt for Gaunt. Deegan starts in 9th place for Gaunt, with Daniel Henrik starting 10th. Allmendinger starts 11th for the Vine Family Racing, and Alex Newman is 12th. 13th, we've got Noah Morrison, and 14th, we've got Logan Sargent, and in 15th place, it's Denny Hamlin, alongside Benjamin Wallace, who is driving for Bahari Racing this weekend. He'll be splitting his season between the 99 car for Penske and this number 30. A bit of a surprising row here. Bobby Newman for Team Red Bull didn't get a good lapping in qualifying. Neither did the high class by Penske car of Rafael Lassard. And then we have the Benedetto and Timmy Hill on the back row of the grid. So there's your 20 drivers tackling this 1 mile speedway for today's race. Let's get ready to go racing. As we come round the final corner here, as De Benedetto pulls over. The car's gone before the race has even started, and Nemechek floors it into the lead, but Daly's been wise to it and is going to dive down the inside. Wow. Kenseth has stopped on track. Caution not going to come out. The car's been moved to the pit lane as Connor Daly leads through turn 4 for the first time on lap 1. It's got Justin Haley in 2nd position down the inside of John Hunter Nemechek here. Haley's in a good position to push on today and probably take the win. Depends on how quickly some of these faster cars can make their way up the order. Deegan not quite got the overlap to make the move on John Hunter Nemechek, and instead that's going to put pressure on her from behind with AJ Allmendinger. As in the background, we can see Bobby Newman dive down the inside of Denny Hamlin for position. Connor Daly leads in the number 77 car. Does he have the speed to hold off Haley? We know that premium's got some good power to it. So I do expect it to be able to make the move and start to pull away. And it's going to go for it into turn 1. It's a good move, but Daly is trying to carry that speed around the outside. As meanwhile, Menard's making the move on Allmendinger. You've got Noah Morrison sort of holding off Bobby Newman. Lassard is quite far back at the moment. So, Haley leads, Nemechek in 2nd. Daly and Deegan are fighting it into turn 1 now. Does look like Daly doesn't quite have the speed to stay up front at the moment. So we've got 19 cars now fighting for the win. Thanks to Kenseth's mechanical issues, let's find out what the problem was on the car. And it was an ignition going, as looks like Menard's getting a good push there from Bobby Newman. Can't quite make the move into 1 on Deegan for 3rd place, but it's going to be Newman having a look at Menard here for 4th place, but can't quite get close enough as Noah Morrison dives down the inside of Connor Daly, who is shipping positions here. Front 2 remain the same. Bobby Newman not going to waste any more time on Menard. He dives down the inside. Menard should be able to get back into 5th position, but he's going to have pressure from behind from Noah Morrison. Meanwhile, Bobby Newman having another look, trying to get past Haley Deegan here for 3rd place. Deegan covering the inside into 1, but Newman's going to get down there, and he is through into 3rd place, and it looks like Menard is going to follow through. Lassard in the background there, not making much progress. not much of an impression so far. He's just passing Denny Hamlin, what will be for 9th position. But he's got Ryan Preece there. He's got De Benedetto. Daly's still dropping positions. The Wood brothers are struggling a bit this weekend. Be interesting to see how this race plays out, as though Morrison has made it past Deegan for 5th. He's got some pressure from behind with Alex Newman. Cars have lots of cornering speed, 150, 140 miles an hour around those final corners there. Because it does look like Lassard now making the move on Deegan up front. It looks like Bobby Newman is starting to close in on John Hunter Nemechek. Can't quite make the move into turns 3 and 4, as Lassard now makes the move on AJ Allmendinger. So here it comes into turn 1. Nemechek currently in P2. He's going to see Bobby Newman dive down the inside and take that position off him in the Red Bull car. So currently Justin Haley leads. Bobby Newman is in 2nd. Nemechek is 3rd. Menard is in 4th. Noah Morrison in 5th. Ahead of Alex Newman, Raphael Lassard, Denny Hamlin, Allmendinger and Preece. Colin Daly's recovered it back to 11th. He was dropping a lot of positions. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of his day goes. We're on lap 12 of this race. Justin Haley has taken control of it, it seems. Be interesting to see what sort of pace he's got in comparison to Bobby Newman. It's a very close field this weekend. It's not going to be easy to make your way up the field from the LCQ, but you've got to make the race to have a shot. Just a bit of an update. It's Menard in 4th, running a similar pace to Noah Morrison, and Lassard in 6th. Got to try and make that move on the number 52 car and just try to work his way up towards the 35, who's starting to close in a bit on John Hunter Nemechek. So got a few little battles emerging. Up front, Lassard is making a move on Noah Morrison. In the background, that's the Bahari Racing of Benjamin Wallace looking at Deegan. But into 5th place comes the 02 car. Will Noah Morrison now come under pressure from Alex Newman? Don't think he will into this corner. Back up front, still nose to tail. It's little groups of 2 at the moment. Haley just about holding off Bobby Newman here for position. It's about getting a good run from this corner. I think Bobby Newman in that slipstream is going to have a dive down into turn 1 and looks to take the lead away from Justin Haley. And he's going to do it. Great driving from Bobby Newman. He's driven up through the field, and by lap 16, he is into the lead. Haley's going to dive back into line in 2nd position. John Hunter Nemechek doing a good job in 3rd at the moment. Still holding off Paul Menard. He's got to be pressured. Well, he's got to be careful as Menard makes a move on him. These guys are running slow and Lassard behind him. Looks like Newman, Morrison. Got Hamlin there with Allmendinger. Connor Daly in 10th position. In the Spire is going to make the move for 9th. Menard is into 3rd. So, we've got a Red Bull, a Premium, a Front Row, and a Levine. We've then got the high-class Penske. We've got the Rick Ware Racing Hendrick machine, who's being pushed along by the MBM of Alex Newman. Denny Hamlin in 8th. 9th is Connor Daly, and Levine's Allmendinger is in 10th. It's proving to be a difficult race, this. Be interesting to see if these cars can go to the end on these tyres. Doesn't look like there's too much drop off at the moment. They're only 4 tenths off what they were doing earlier in the race. As Nemechek is still keeping up with Menard, in a position to pounce and potentially put Menard back behind Lassard. Be interesting to see what happens there. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin is looking to be on a bit of a roll. He's right up behind Alex Newman here, who's pushing along Noah Morrison, but they can't quite get close to this group. It's going to be frustrating for Hamlin as Alex Newman decides it's time to make the move. He's going to go down the inside of Noah Morrison. No moves in the background in the foreground for position. So Newman moves up into 6th position. Hamlin's going to follow through, and I imagine Daly's going to get the run on the 52 car now. So it looks like Hamlin as well is going to make a move on Newman, as Lassard is making a move on John Hunter Nemechek for 4th and a transfer spot. Right, Hamlin is through, so he's going to be thinking about trying to close the gap to the cars in front of him. Lassard now has Menard to try and fight against. 23.3 is being run by the leaders. It's 23.4 last time round, as Noah Morrison now is making a move on Alex Newman. He's got Connor Daly pushing him along on the inside, looking to jump up a position as well. And that's 52 and the 77 are up past the 46. Meanwhile, Lassard and Menard does look like Haley and Newman are in a decent enough position here. It doesn't look like Hamlin quite has the speed to work his way back up towards these guys. Meanwhile, down the front straightaway, heading on to lap 25, Lassard dives towards the inside of Paul Menard. I think that's going to be 3rd position. And Menard's going to start feeling the pressure from behind from John Hunter Nemechek. These guys are just starting to pull away from Hamlin, who doesn't quite have the speed today. So meanwhile, there's this big group of cars: Morrison, Daly, Alex Newman, Allmendinger, De Benedetto. It's really struggled to make it up from 20th on the field. And Bubba Wallace. So not a good day for Wood Brothers so far, as Connor Daly is diving it down the inside of Noah Morrison. It's a good move there, and Alex Newman looks like all going to follow through down the inside here. So some good passing there. Meanwhile, it looks like Ryan Priest is going to make a move on Nathan Merritt. Newman is all over the back of Connor Daly. Meanwhile, it does look like Lassard's pulled a bit of a gap over Paul Menard here. John Hunter Nemechek currently running 5th. Got Hamlin 6th, 22.4. Was a bit faster that time, last time by, than Nemechek. Let's have a look this time by. 23.515, 23.514, and 23.509. So it's not a big game. Certainly not big enough to be fighting for a position in the race tomorrow. It's meanwhile we see Deegan down the inside of Noah Morrison. He's beginning to just shift positions here. It's into the clutches of Timmy Hale, Logan Sargent. This battle between Benjamin Wallace in 13, 51 of Henrik. Meanwhile, up front, it's a sizable gap for Bobby Newman ahead of Justin Haley. Lassard 3rd, Menard, Nemechek, Hamlin. Quick lap time check: 23.540, 23.564, 23.571. So it's not currently good enough. This time by 23.6. Lap time is falling away. 23.607 for Nemechek. And it was a good 23.574 from behind for Hamlin. Meanwhile, Daly still pushing this up, heading up this little group from 7th to 10th now. So it's got the MBM of Newman behind him, the 97 of Allmendinger, and the 21 of De Benedetto. Bubba Wallace has dropped a little back from these guys. Meanwhile, some good pace being shown by Bobby Newman. It'll be interesting to see if these guys, if the tyres can make it all the way to lap 59. I'm sure they will, but there is going to be a big drop-off. Will anyone feel like there's a benefit to changing tyres? Meanwhile, between Lassard and Haley, it's pretty similar lap times in the 23.6s at the moment. And 23.674, 639. Yeah, not Hamlin doesn't quite have the pace at the moment to get on the back of this battle. Daly's pulled a little gap out over Alex Newman here. It does look like Allmendinger is going to see De Benedetto dive to the inside in the 21 car. And that's going to be P9 for De Benedetto, but it doesn't look like he's going to make the race today. Will look like Bubba Wallace will dive down the insides here. But this is an important battle. Nemechek needs to have something, just needs something to go his way. And that number 93 car just needs to find a way past the 35 of Paul Menard. He's doing a good job for front row. Doesn't quite have the speed of these three in front. As Bobby Newman continues to put in a great performance. Meanwhile, to Benedetto's next target's going to be Alex Newman. Does look like the Wood Brothers car is struggling a bit this year. Down the inside into turn 3 comes the 21. It does look like Newman's going to drop a few positions here. We've got Bubba Wallace joining on the back of this pack, and you've got Ryan Preece in the mix. And then we've got Merritt currently battling with teammate Haley Deegan for position, and we've got the Bahari Racing number 30 right in that mix. Then you get Noah Morrison, Henrik, Timmy Hill, and Logan Sargent up front. No real changes here. Just need to Alex Newman's dropping positions here. It's seeing Bubba Wallace on the inside in the 7 car looking for P10. And he's going to do that in the background. You can see Nathan Merritt is under pressure from Noah Morrison as Newman holds off Bubba into 4. Further back, there's Merritt, who did qualify for the 5. Oh, that was very close to Daniel Henrik. You just almost ran up into him and tipped him around, and that's going to allow Timmy Hill to look down the inside of Nathan Merritt. Without the RCR support, this team does seem to be struggling a bit, as the Bahari Racing of Benjamin Wallace stalking Haley Deegan. Watching this race unfold, it does look like Lassard, meanwhile, is running quite a bit faster than Justin Haley. As we're coming towards that 40, what can Justin Haley do defensively? Can he hold off the Penske car? It doesn't look like it. Down the inside, into turn 1, and Lassard is up into 2nd place. It's a big gap in front to Bobby Newman, but it'd be interested to see what he can do. Menards and Nemechek run 23.9s. Hamlin can only sort of match that pace as the Benedetto has made the move on Daly. It's quite an interesting, not being an easy race, this one. The LCQ has seen the grid spread out a little bit. It was pretty close in times in qualifying. As Menard still just seems to have the edge on Nemechek here. Meanwhile, Justin Haley has not given up. He is still on the back of Lassard here. Meanwhile, 42 laps into this run, times have dropped a 2nd lap. Meanwhile, let's have a look at this into turn 1. Is Nemechek close enough for a move? Not quite. They start holding each other up a bit, and that's going to be good news for Denny Hamlin, who wants to get involved in this. But it's amazing. Nemechek is keeping it in the dirty air, but does run a little bit higher into 3. So that's going to hurt him down the straight, and he's not going to be close enough into turn 1 this time by. Menard driving masterfully, using that experience in a stock car to hold off a very talented young driver. Looking back, Bubba Wallace, meanwhile, still can't quite make that move on Alex Newman, and it does seem like Ryan Preece starting to drive up towards them. We know Brian made the Daytona race last week. It was a great LCQ performance. Right place, right time. Bubba, meanwhile, it looks like Allmendinger's making a dive on Connor Daly for position. It's been a hard day racing. Up front, it does look like this is Newman's race to win. He does seem to just have a pace advantage over everyone in that Gibbs equipment. Meanwhile, Lassard's struggling. He's not been able to gap Haley like he did with Menard and Nemechek. Haley's just been keeping right on his tail. Meanwhile, Menard has been slowly pulling that gap out to Nemechek. But the 24.178, 206 is a 138 from Hamlin. 10 to go. How far back is he? He's about 6/10 off. He needs to make 2 moves as well, and we've seen that Menard is not the easiest to pass today. 24 O's from Bobby Newman. It's been a fantastic performance from him. Didn't get the lapping in qualifying. He was quite disappointed about that, but his race is going rather brilliantly. Let's go through the field from back to front at the moment. We'll start off with Logan Sargent in the 32 car. Had a very good Daytona weekend. Made the race without the LCQ and ran pretty well with a top 30 finish. Today, nowhere. Nathan Merritt, he had a solid Daytona weekend. Obviously, the Gaunt car was not the best, but yeah, doing a good job. Hemrick made the race at Daytona. Today, just only 17th. We've got Haley Deegan, 16th for Gaunt. Not their day today. Got the Junior Motorsport car of Timmy Hill. Solid enough performance. It's not the best driver on the grid. He's running around in the sort of mid-pack of this race. Now Morrison, 14th. Can't quite get to the back of the Bahari Racing. Meanwhile, go forward quickly actually. This is Connor Daly down the inside of AJ Allmendinger for position. And looks like Newman's going to dive down the inside as well. Priest, meanwhile, is ahead of Wallace. So we've also missed that on track. Meanwhile, I'm going to jump forward a bit because heading into these last 10 laps, Denny Hamlin is in the mix. He's up to the back of these two. So it's been some fantastic driver from the JTG driver. 24 twos. He's just got that pace advantage, but he needs to make the moves quickly. They have a speed advantage, JTG over Levine, so he should be able to make a dive either here or into turn 1. Looks like he is going to be patient. He's kept that car low and he's kept it right on the rear bumper of John Hunter Nemechek. Here we go, into turn 1. Will Hamlin make the move? He's coming down the inside now on the 93 car, and that will be for 5th position. And now he's going to be looking to make the move on Paul Menard. So look, that Allmendinger has lost quite a few positions. He's down behind that Bubba Wallace. It's Priest is in 10th, with Newman in 9th place at the moment. So 24.433. It was a 4:01 from Hamlin. So we're coming up towards 5 to go in this race. Justin Haley starting to drop a little bit of time to Lassard. Does look like he's going to make that move back on the high-class driver. So here we go. Into the last 5 laps of this race. It was a 3.72 from that time by from Hamlin. Menard only managed a 4.51. It does look like Nemechek just doesn't have the speed in the straight line to make this work. Meanwhile, Ryan Priest has made the move past Alex Newman, and it looks like Bubba Wallace is going to dive down the inside. We're going to quickly jump back to the front straightaway and see what's going on here. Menard's done a 4.17 compared to Hamlin's 4.51. It's an important lap here. Hamlin is going to have to pull up closer. Meanwhile, into turn 1, here's Bubba Wallace on Newman, and he's going to get a push through from AJ Allmendinger. In the background there, you can see Hossein, Benjamin Wallace, and Noah Morrison, who pulled a bit of a gap over Timmy Hill. Into 1. This time by, it was a 4.91 from Paul Menard, but a 4.19 from Denny Hamlin. Just needs to get right on that rear bumper and try and make this move to make the race. Didn't make it at Daytona, and he was hoping for more. He believed the JTG car was capable of more, but just didn't get the lapping in qualifying. And he's had to really work for this. He's right on the bumper with 2 to go. He just needs to keep it close through 2 and 4. He just needs to get good runs off the corner and just keep it there mid-corner. We saw Nemechek run up the track a little bit. Is he close enough? I don't know. Heading on to the last lap. They're going to stick with this battle. Can Denny Hamlin get close enough for a move? It's going to have to be into this final corner. Meanwhile, we're going to go up front because coming around turn 4, it's going to be Bobby Newman and Team Red Bull that win the LCQ at North Carolina. Lassard, Haley and Menard has held off Hamlin. Hamlin goes home for a second consecutive week. That's a brilliant bit of defending in those last 5 from Menard. Nemechek in 6th place. Benedetto in 7th. Daly, Priest, Wallace, Allmendinger, Newman, Benjamin Wallace, Noah Morrison, Timmy Hill, Haley Deegan, Nathan Merritt, Daniel Hemrick, and Logan Sargent. 155 miles an hour. The average speed. Kenseth was the only did not finish after the ignition of his number 95 car went right at the start. Never even got an opportunity to fight for his place on the grid. So it's Bobby Newman from Team Red Bull, Rafael Lassard for High Class Racing by Penske, Justin Haley for Premium Motorsport, and Paul Menard for Front Row Motorsport. That will be in the race. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the main event. Goodbye.